Bella from Bella's Custom Crochets, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a simple crochet ribbing using alternating front and back post double crochets to make a ribbing that mimics a typical knit purl alternating ribbing. It's often used along the brims of hats because it's nice and stretchy, or maybe as like a collar or wristband on a garment, but I'm going to be using it specifically in reference to my puzzlewood cowl pattern. But if you're not making that pattern, you can definitely apply this to all sorts of crochet projects. Let's get started. So to get started with your alternating front and back post double crochet ribbing, you're going to want to chain anything that's divisible by 2, any multiple of 2. I'm going to chain 14 just to show you guys. And then we have to do a foundation row of just regular old double crochets to kind of set us up for the ribbing. So just like as normal double crochet, you're going to work into that third chain from the hook and double crochet your way across the row. And the stitches that I'm going to be showing you with the front and back posts could be applied to single crochets, half double crochets, treble crochets, really whatever you want. It's just a matter of working around those post stitches, but we're using double crochets for the purpose of my puzzlewood cowl. I'm going to work my way across this row and I'll meet you there at the end. Okay, so I'm going to work 1 double crochet into that final chain. Then I'm going to show you how to start working the ribbing. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. For the purpose of this swatch, just so it's nice and flat along the edge and isn't going to be trying to curl up, we have a double crochet at the front and the end of the row. If you were doing something maybe along the base of a sweater or really whatever, it's up to your pattern, but sometimes you might end on the actual front or back post double crochet rather than creating that edge. But that's what I'm going to show you today. So after our chain 2, we're going to double crochet just as normal into that same space. Now here is where we'll begin our ribbing. These are called post stitches because instead of working into this normal stitch space where we would work a double crochet, we're actually going to be working around the double crochets from the previous row. So these here are the posts. Like I said, this can be applied to other types of stitches as well, but we're using double crochets today. So we're going to yarn over just like we're still doing our double crochet, but instead of going into this space here, we're going to go around the post. So for a front post double crochet, you're going to go underneath and it's going to pop that stitch out. And this will create these ones here that you're seeing on the front, raised, and then when we do our back post, they're going to be the ones that are raised on the back. It's reversible and similar to, like I said, in knitting, a knit stitch would stand up in front and a purl stitch would make a ridge in the back. So that is a front post double crochet. Now we're going to do a back post double crochet. So just like a regular old double crochet, we're going to yarn over, but now we're going to insert our hook. These ones are a little trickier. I think these are more awkward. You're going to go underneath and over the top of that post stitch. So now you can see it's poking out. It's going to be raised in the back, and we're going to complete our normal double crochet. It might take a couple rows to get the hang of it and really see what's going on, but you should, at least for this pattern, always be alternating 1 raised in the front, 1 raised in the back. If you wanted to do like a 2x2 ribbing, you could do 2 front, 2 back, whatever, up to you. But for the purpose of the puzzlewood cowl, it's 1 front post and 1 back post. And you're just going to keep working your way across the row. I will say it's a little tricky to wrap your mind around at first because at least for me, the wording of a front post double crochet, you're actually going under or around the back of the post to create it popping out in the front. So we're going to go underneath, but it's going to make it go in front, which is why it's the front post double crochet. But then for the back post, I feel like you kind of go around the front instead of the back. I might be confusing you more than I'm helping you, but I did want to clarify that because I knew it kind of stumped me up for a little bit. So for a back post, you have to go over the front to make it pop out in the back. See, those are raised in the back there. So you just keep going across the row like that, doing one popping out to the front and one popping out to the back. Front post, and back post. And we're just going to keep going like that across the row. Until we have one stitch left, and then we're going to just do a regular old double crochet in that stitch to create that smooth edge. You can see it's starting to form. You can see that these ones here are our front posts. They're popping out in the front, and those ones are our back posts because they're raised in the back. And you can see with this nice wide gauge too. It's a little harder to tell when they're all close together. But if you've done something wrong, it will start looking almost waffly. If you start doing back posts into previous front post, it's gonna be all wavy and lumpy and you'll be able to tell. If you're doing it correctly, you should always have nice straight ridges that look like knit ribbing. So now we're just going to keep going. Chain 2 and turn our work again. One double crochet at the beginning of the row. And you should be able to start reading your crocheting, which means you can look at it and tell if you're doing it right or not. So this one is clearly a front post, so we're going to keep doing front posts in the front posts and back posts in the back posts. Front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. It's as easy as that, guys. This is a great ribbing technique that can be applied lots of places. I'm just going to complete one more row just so you can really see how it's shaping up. It becomes pretty mindless after a while, and you can tell which stitches are which, like I said, so you know if you're doing it wrong. It won't look like straight lines anymore. And then double crochet in that last stitch. And there we go. That is how you work front and back post double crochets. It makes a beautiful reversible fabric. I love it in this cowl pattern. But you can use it wherever you would like in your own crochet designs. So now that you're familiar with working the front and back post stitches flat, I'm just going to show you really quick how you're going to work them in the round. It's a simple little change, and we're just going to create this tiny little seam that is going to almost mimic the front post double crochet, so it's going to hide your seam in the back of either your puzzlewood cowl or whatever pattern you're working your ribbing in. So to start out, I just chained 24 and then joined and did 24 double crochets around as my foundation row. So to join, instead of slip stitching into the stitch like we normally would, we're actually going to go around the back and treat it like a post. So we're going to pop it out front like a front post double crochet. So instead of going into the chains, we're going to go underneath them, around, and it's going to create something very similar. It's not going to show up there, but as we get going it will. It's going to pop that stitch out and it's going to blend the seam right in. So just going to chain 2. We are going to treat that chain 2 because we're creating that front post out of it. We're going to treat that as a stitch throughout. So you're going to start by back post double crocheting in the next stitch. And then you're going to alternate back post, front post, all the way around. I will meet you at the end of the round. Okay, so I've worked my way around, and the last stitch of that round is going to be a back post double crochet, so we just keep maintaining that front back pattern. So I'm going to do one more back post double crochet in here. And then remember that little trick we did at the beginning with the starting chain? We're going to do the same thing where we're going to go underneath and slip stitch to join in such a way that it pops it out like mimicking a front double crochet. stitch. So you can see that just creates a nice little hidden seam, almost hidden, better than if we just slip stitched flat seam. And that's that. So then you just chain 2 again and just keep working your way around and around and around until you get to the length required in your pattern or your desired length. Easy. If you enjoyed this stitch tutorial, you can like this video, and you can also subscribe to this channel for more stitch tutorials and lots of other good crochet content. And I also have a blog where there is a step-by-step photo tutorial on how to work this stitch as applied to this pattern, with lots of other good crochet goodness over there as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. Happy making!